Do you want to learn about multifamily investing, but you just don't know where to start? You think you're too new. You think it's too overwhelming. Well, I have the event for you. It's called Multifamily Live, and it's happening this June 10th, 11th, and 12th, a 3-day event. And best of all, guys, it's virtual. You don't have to worry about, can I shake hands? Do I have to get on a plane? What's it mean? Am I afraid of COVID? None of that stuff. It's virtual. You can do it from your home. It's a 3-day event, and this event is really about teaching you how to invest in multifamily real estate. They want you to know how to achieve the, quote, quit your job passive income, right? By investing in large multifamily properties. Even if you're a new investor or if you're an experienced investor and you want to get into multifamily, this is the event you cannot miss. Guys, go and get your tickets now before they're gone. It's June 10th, 11th, and 12th this coming June. It's going to be amazing. I know the folks putting this on. I have talked to all of them. I know about their businesses. These are the smartest multifamily people in the nation. You must go get your tickets if you're interested in Multifamily Live before the ticket prices go up. As it gets closer to the event, it's going to go up. Here's how you get them. Go to bestrealestateevent.com. That's bestrealestateevent.com. Go check it out. Even if you're not sure, just go to the site, check it out, see if it looks like it's for you, and grab your tickets now. All right, guys, let's get on to it.
People are getting really tired of sponsored ads. Like they're just glazing over, right? Mm-hmm. And the algorithms are not exactly helping our cause. And it just feels like there's a sea of it. And it's overwhelming.
You're listening to the Just Start Real Estate Podcast. If you're serious about your real estate investing business and need real answers, you are in the right place. And now, your host, Mike Simmons.
Hey, thank you for being here. I appreciate you tuning into the show. I'm excited to have you. I've got a good one today. We're talking about lead gen, guys. This is hugely important. I don't care if you're new to the business or if you've been doing it forever. Lead generation is a hot topic, and it always will be, and well, it should be, because leads are the oxygen of our company. If you don't have leads coming in, you are essentially suffocating as a business. So I'm excited to have this guest on today. Guys, if you get anything out of this show at all, if you're enjoying what I'm bringing to you, if you get any value from this at all I ask is that you go into wherever you listen to this, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, whatever it is, and give me a rating and review. That's really, really helpful, and I would really appreciate it. All right, guys, let's dive into what we have today. So I have on the show Lyndsay Phillips. Lyndsay is the CEO and captain of Smooth Sailing Business Growth. She is a content marketing strategic partner, which is really kind of cool. And I like the way that she phrases that because she does a done for you kind of a business in marketing. She's a serial entrepreneur and also proud owner of Smooth Business Podcasting and Real Estate Investing real estate marketing for investors. And she has been featured on MSN, NBC, Fox. She's published in the Huffington Post. She's been a guest on John Lee Dumas' Entrepreneur on Fire and Joe Fairless, the best real estate investing podcast ever. I've been on those shows, not Entrepreneur on Fire, but on Joe Fairless' show. She's been around. She knows what she's talking about, and she just loves helping entrepreneurs. So guys, without any further delay, I give you Lyndsay Phillips. All right, Lyndsay, thank you for doing this. Thank you for being on the show, and welcome to Just Start Real Estate.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I've been looking forward to this for a while.
Yeah, thank you. I have too. I'm excited about it. You know, before we get too deep into this, I want to talk about maybe your background a little bit, but I will say this. When it comes to real estate investing, there are two things that have always been needed desperately and has never gone away. It's money and leads. Those are the two things that real estate always needs. And we're going to talk specifically about how to solve that second problem a little bit.
Yes.
But first, let's dial back a little bit and talk. I don't know if you came out of the womb a real estate marketer. I'm assuming not. But what did you do, if anything, prior to your marketing and your real estate background?
Yeah, I mean, I've had businesses in the past, and life takes you on a strange journey. And then I was working part-time, like $11, $14 an hour. And my kids were really small, so I only wanted part-time. And then I was just like, I want to carve my own destiny, if you will. I want to be able to work from home.
Yeah.
And I knew I'm smarter than this. I can make more money than this. And then so I started doing VA stuff on the side with a girl I knew, and I just loved it. I was just like learning new things online. I was like networking and taking courses, and of course I was burning the candles at both ends, doing it all, and small kids and stuff. Yep. And then I got a client. I'm like, sure, I can do that. And I just believe in just diving in.
Yeah.
Even if you're freaking out. And I did really well. And then I just went, I'm going to do this and just say goodbye to the other two jobs and just went all in and just kind of grew, tentatively and organically. Again, my kids were still really, really small. And then eventually I was just like, I'm not trading dollars for hours anymore. So hired someone, which was kind of scary.
Yeah.
And
by the way, was this your like a marketing business that you said, yeah, I can do it, and you were freaking out? Oh, just being a VA. Okay, I got
virtual assistant agency kind of a thing.
Okay.
And then as we morphed, got more into content marketing, was working really well for my clients, and I just loved the creativity of it, and was kind of hating the admin part of it. And so I just niched down and changed the business model. And as soon as I did that, I got a flood of new clients, which was crazy. And then I had to hire quickly and figure that out.
Yeah.
And then as I kind of grew, I was getting more real estate investors. Clients, and they told two friends and so on and just kind of started getting a name for myself in the space, a couple of speaking gigs and on podcasts and stuff like that, and just realized that, man, they really struggle. And I find a lot of marketing companies are very focused on just online marketing or coaches, or do you know what I mean? So they're not quite understanding the perspective of a real estate investor. I mean, a lot of the strategies are the same, but I don't know. And then just kind of had that little side niche of my business, and just passionate about helping investors grow their business. And
it is I'm not surprised if real estate investors are like sharks in the water. If there is somebody who we think can help us get more leads, we flock to it like shark to blood, right? We're on it because we do need more leads. And even if we think we have all the leads we need, if we can get better leads or cheaper leads, right? Because it comes to a point where, hey, I've got enough leads, but they're really expensive. So let's find cheaper leads. Yeah. So it's never going to go away. It's never not going to be a thing. So I'm not surprised that when you niche down a little bit and started focusing on real estate, that it exploded, because we're just crazy for trying to find people who can actually help. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there who say they can help and they don't really help, and you spend a little bit of money. And I just went through this. I spent a little money on an agency, and it didn't really help. So when people like you who actually are getting results for their clients come along, it's gold. So we really dive into it. So what kinds of things can real estate there's two sides of this, right? You're an expert. Are there things that you can tell the folks listening that they could do to improve what they're maybe already working on? And then so there's always that DIY part of anything, right?
Oh, for sure. And I'm so practical. I'm not oh, you need to do this and have an elaborate funnel. And I'm so realistic. Yeah. I'm no, you can do this part yourself. Right. And this part you may need help on. Right. So you don't have time or the expertise. And
there's a side of it where it gets to a point probably where it's not the best use of your time to get that granular into the marketing. So what kinds of things can you tell the listeners that they can and should be doing maybe right now that they can actually implement themselves that's relatively easy?
You bet. I mean, there's so many different parts of marketing, right? So it can feel really overwhelming.
Yeah.
And the pillars or the foundational pieces that I think are really important is, one, looking at your website. Are you showing yourself authentically? Don't try to be somebody else, or don't try to be Ty Lopez, where you're showing the lifestyle and blah, blah, blah. It's just be yourself, and make sure that your messaging on your website is very, very clear on who you're speaking to and who your avatar is. And because you don't want to like spray and pray and hope that you're just going to like trying to get everybody. It's like, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like I was helping one investor, and I talk about the story because I just think it's super cool. But he was like, oh my God, I'm pulling a blank. Multifamily properties.
Okay.
And so I happened to find out that he was a pilot. And I'm like, that is so cool. And I'm like, would you be wanting to attract only like pilots and people in that industry? And he's like, yeah, because I know where they are. I know their struggles. I know their focus, their mindset. And I'm like, then why aren't you leaning into that?
Yeah.
And then like, it's okay to niche down. And so his whole website and everything was like built over like around that.
Yeah.
And so it just helps him be that much more effective. So really leaning into yourself and who you're attracting and your messaging, that to me is like half of the equation. Because once you have that messaging dialed in, so that people go to your site and they're like, oh man, this person relates to me. Like I totally, like they're thinking my thoughts and like, oh, I'm in the right place.
Yeah.
And like, it sounds corny, but it's so true. And then like how you help them, like if you're just vague and like, oh, I'm into investing, I do multifamily properties, or I do notes and book a call. It's like, it's not going to kind of bring them in. You're not going to make that connection.
Yeah. So I think to me that it's that, if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody, right? It's so generalized. Nobody feels like they're being talked to directly. I learned that even as a podcaster, I have a bad habit of saying, hey guys or guys. And it was brought to my attention by somebody who said, you know what, when you say guys, you take every single individual out of it. They don't feel like they're being talked to anymore. They feel like there's just this crowd of faceless people. And I think marketing can be that sometimes be that same thing, right? It's like, hey, everyone. It's like, do you really feel like they're talking to you when they say everyone or hey guys? So I have a bad habit of saying guys, and I'm trying to stop, but that's something I'm working on.
That's funny. Like that doesn't bother me. I'm kind of like that. To me, makes it feel more casual.
Yeah,
like I'm in your space.
Okay,
cool. But everyone's got a different perception, right?
Yeah, for sure. So when people are thinking about doing marketing for the business, now I know that real estate investors traditionally do, direct mail is something they do. Google AdWords is there, right? Obviously, but now like social media, and other, online LinkedIn and which is social media, but all of these different avenues that people have, Facebook. What are your thoughts on that? Okay, because I'll tell you my experience and the experience of folks that I know is everyone's sort of struggling to figure out social media and how to apply that to like lead generation, because lots of people claim they can do it. I've not seen a lot of evidence that it's something that we've figured out yet, but everyone seems to think it needs to be figured out because it is here and everyone's on social media. How do we not harness that? And I'm just going to do one more thing, and I don't want to put words in your mouth. My thought is perhaps it's the demographic, right? A lot of people you're talking right now probably to primarily single family real estate investors, single family home real estate investors. So a lot of times our clients are older. Do you think, is that a reasonable reason why maybe we're struggling, or is it just the execution is bad? Or do you think social media is really not a great place for us to generate leads?
A few thoughts there. And I know a lot of people are struggling, including myself and like some of the big players that maybe won't admit it. And it's almost like you really have to pay to play. And like, I've been talking to some Facebook ad experts for a couple of clients, and they're like, you need to have a budget of $3,000 a month, plus of course the managerial fee. And I'm like, holy crap, who has $6,000 like a month just to like Facebook ads? Like not the average Joe, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of like, that sucks. And so again, talking to more Facebook ad experts, and it just feels to me like the people are getting really tired of sponsored ads. Like they're just glazing over, right? And the algorithms are not exactly helping our cause. And it just feels like there's a sea of it, and it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I'm finding that the need to get back to basics and like grassroots like we did 10 years ago is more important. And here is one of the other pillars that I was going to mention is relationships, and setting yourself as an authority authority in a very specific thing, not like, oh, I'm an investor. Like that is so general. There's like a bazillion types of investing.
Mm-hmm.
And even within those specific niches, there's even like, what is your superpower? What is your specialty? Who specifically do you want to connect with? And who is your ideal avatar?
Yeah.
So it's like, if you like, to me, the secret sauce really is nowadays is setting yourself apart as an authority. Again, whether you have a book, whether you're podcasting, whether you're guest podcasting, if you have like a live video show on Facebook, if you go live on Instagram all the time. I mean, there's different ways to like elevate your authority platform so that you're setting yourself apart as the go-to person for that thing and you're not lost in the sea of everybody else.
Yeah.
And then with social media, again, you're using that outlet to showcase your authority and your credibility. But then I think this really is the missing link, Mike, is that because we are so busy, that grassroots where we're like actually having conversations with people and using it as a sales and relationship tool versus you're posting stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like even for me, like I'm like burnt out with Facebook really. And it's like LinkedIn, I'm finding I'm actually having a lot more conversations, DMing people. I don't know. It just seems like there's so much more action going on. And like it, like answer people's comments. Do you know what I mean? Or be in Facebook groups and answer people. Like I got a ton of clients being in podcast, Facebook groups and just helping people out. And I'm like, hey, I've got a resource. I'm not going to make you opt in, like DM me and I'll send you the PDF or whatever it is. And just like communicating with people and sharing your tips.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, so do you have these services? I'm like, well, yes, I do. And then like DMing them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's taking that time and don't think like, oh, I can't spend an hour on social media today. It's like, no, it's relationship and sales. Like if you reframe your brain on how you approach it and also like reprioritizing it, right? Like it is crucial.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just put out an email and expect people to book a call and invest with you. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yes, you need to do those things and email and nurture your list and share your credibility and serve them.
Yep.
But you can't rely on all those automations and posts to like, you know, work. Like you have to be on the ground.
Yeah. I think people look for set it and forget it. And you're right. It's relationships. You wouldn't send somebody or try to automate coffee with someone in your local market, right? So I think it's that same thing. And people are just, because it's online and frankly, it's perpetuated by certain, you know, quote experts that here's this automation to blow up your Instagram and get all kinds of leads and clients. And I just think sometimes it just doesn't work that way. You have to talk to people, even if it's online and through a DM. You know, talking to people is always going to be more valuable than blasting ads and things like that.
I know,
with you.
and being top of mind, right? Like when you are like commenting on other people's stuff, they'll be like, oh, she keeps commenting on my stuff. Like, who is she? And then of course they're going to check you out. And then like, oh, that's helpful. Oh, that's helpful.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, she actually gives a crap about me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she's going to be there. She's like a solution. So it's like just having that integrity and coming from a serving, but like point of view, it's going to take you further.
Yeah, I agree. So what kind of marketing do you specifically help investors with? What are we, because we've sort of been talking in general, but what is it that you most feel like you can move the needle for folks?
Definitely in bringing up the ante in regards to building their authority.
Okay.
Like you need to have like a consistent brand, a consistent message, and consistent social media to stay top of mind. Because it's like if you go to someone's Facebook page and they haven't posted in 2 weeks, you're like, are they really in business? Like, are they really going to be there if something doesn't work? Or like, it's just those first impressions, right?
Yeah.
And being serving and not like always salesy or just bragging about what you're doing. And so like you're elevating and then you can even charge more for what you're doing because you are an authority.
Yep.
And so whether it's a live Facebook and then leveraging that content so that all you have to do is like I'll give you an example. So if someone does a live Facebook with or without anybody else, you can automate it so that the audio is stripped and you can turn it into a podcast. You can make it into an IGTV video. It pushes automatically to YouTube so that you can tap into, because everyone searches on YouTube. And so you can tap into that space and get like followers and subscribers. And then you can even like transcribe it and get little snippets and tidbits and leverage all those little golden nuggets that you mentioned in the live Facebook. And then create more social media so that you're not having to do like a bazillion things, but you're showing that you're everywhere and that you're giving information. And that's going to like up level your authority. So we do those automations. The second thing, Mike, is that you do need to have some sales funnel. Like you don't have to be all like crazy like Frank Kern, but you do need at least like a lead magnet of some kind to grow an e-list, show your expertise, and then nurture them so that you're staying in touch, you're giving them information. You know, you can link to like a live Facebook that you do. It doesn't have to be a long email by any stretch. It can be a quick video. And then like ask to book a call. Like that is the simplest sales funnel, but they work. Like invite people to an audit, invite people to a call of some kind. Because really, the more phone calls that you have, the quicker you're going to convert them to some sort of relationship or client, if you will, for lack of better terms. And again, it's keeping all that stuff simple.
Yeah. So if people want to find out how to learn more from you, right? I want, like, because I know a lot, I think, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but this is done for you. So a lot of the stuff you're doing, right? You're marketing. Okay. So, because I know what people are thinking, because I think this too, like, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. Like, I don't want to do it. Right. But they want to get it done. So, so this is something that your company, it's a done for you product, which is, by the way, when you're dealing with real estate investors, in my experience, done for you is golden to us. Like we will pay for something done for us because we just feel like we're so stressed out all the time. So where can people find things out about you? Where can they get more information? Where can they get some of these, resources that we've been talking about, or even reach out if they want to contact you and have that conversation about working with you?
You betcha. So I do have a Facebook group, the REI Marketing Facebook group. So if they go to reimarketinggroup.com, but of course on my main site, smoothbusinessgrowth.com, there are free resources that I have for real estate investors specifically.
Okay.
And of course, share how we help with podcasting, social media, leveraging that content, sales funnels, all that good stuff. And we do strategy calls. So it's like, if you don't know where to start, because everyone is so different, right? There's no cookie cutter answer.
Yeah.
It's like, it all depends on like, what do you have set up? What is your avatar? What is your strength? What are your goals? And it's like, just at least setting up those basic funnels.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of grow from there.
I love it. Well, listen, Lyndsay, thank you. I really appreciate your time. This has been awesome. Like I said at the beginning of the conversation, money and leads never is going to stop. It'll always be a need. And the interesting thing for real estate investors, it's frustrating for us and probably a great opportunity for someone like you, is the way to get leads, the strategy behind it kind of evolves, especially with technology. There's certain things that work now and they worked 20 years ago, but there's a lot of stuff that's new that people just don't understand, and it's always changing. So we need a resource like you who is engaged in that world enough to understand what's changing and how to take advantage of those changes. So fantastic to connect with you. I know this was a connection made by a mutual friend. So I love those. Shout out to Chris. He's awesome. And thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. It's been great chatting.
Yeah, for sure. And then as things change, let's get you back on here and talk about what you're working on and what you're excited about at that time, so we can stay on top of it. All right. Awesome.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Thanks. I really appreciate your time, Lyndsay, and have a great rest of your day.
All right. Thanks, you too.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Lead generation is always going to be something we're talking about because we always need more leads as real estate investors. And if you don't need more leads, you do. But if you think you don't, you definitely need cheaper leads. I don't care how cheap you're getting them. So at the end of the day, learning more about becoming an authority online in order to drive attention and drive leads into your funnel, into your business is invaluable. So I hope that you enjoyed this. All these are just more nuggets to help you build that company, to help you refine what you're doing and take it to the next level, or even just get off the ground. And there are companies like Lyndsay's that will do a lot of the work for you, especially in the stuff that you don't understand. You don't have to be an authority on online marketing. You need to be good at buying and selling properties. Let other people help you where they have expertise. All right, guys, get out there and make it happen for yourself today. Make today the day that you look back and say, that's when I changed my life. All right, go get it.